Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Eala out of Canadian Open after first round. Manila, Philippines. Filipina tennis sensation Alex Eala exited the Canadian Open after suffering a grueling 3-set loss to Czechia's Marketa Vondrousova, 6-3, 1-6, 2-6, in Montreal early Monday morning, Manila time. Eala, who had her left shoulder taped at the start of the match, had a strong start but could not capitalize her early lead against the former Wimbledon champion. The world number 69 tennister broke a 3-all first set, winning the next 3 games to take the first set. Vondrousova and Eala then traded the first 2 games in the second set to have a 1-1 deadlock. But the world number 65 player breezed through the next 5 games to grab the second set, 6-1. The 26-year-old Vondrousova's dominant run against Eala, who asked for a technical timeout for her shoulder before the third frame, then continued as she went up 2-0 in the final set. The 20-year-old Rafa Nadal Academy graduate finally broke through in the third game, blanking her opponent in the third game to inch closer, 1-2. The two traded the next 2 games before the 26-year-old Czech showcased mastery in the final 3 games to grab the victory. Vondrousova smashed in 7 aces in the match, while Eala had none. Unforced errors likewise told the difference in the match, with Eala committing 29 to her opponent's 16. But the Filipina had 30 winners to Vondrousova's 27. I expected that Eala was going to play a great match, and she had some good results before, so I expected that match. So, it was a tough one, so I'm very happy to beat her, the Olympic silver medalist said after the match. She's very aggressive. My serve was better in the second and third sets, so I'm very happy to fight back in this match, she added. Vondrousova will now face Marta Kostyuk in the second round of the tourney. On the other hand, Eala will feature in the Cincinnati Open early next month. Of the Canadian Open, among the world's top-tier athletes, a young Filipina, Alex Eala, walked onto court 5 with the heart of a warrior and the poise of someone older than her 19 years. The lights were bright, the moment massive, and though the match would end in a first-round loss, the story that unfolded was far richer than the final scoreline. This wasn't just about one match. This was about a journey, the draw and the weight of expectations. Eala's draw was a daunting one. Standing on the opposite side of the net was a seasoned Czech powerhouse, an athlete who had seen the Grand Slam stage, tasted pressure at its boiling point, and knew exactly how to carve through the early rounds of big tournaments. For Eala, the Canadian Open was a fresh opportunity. A part of her hard-court swing in North America, it was also a test of how far she had come since breaking into the top 70 of the WTA rankings earlier in the year. With the Philippine flag next to her name, she carried more than just personal ambition. She was a symbol of inspiration back home, a tennis star in the making. Opening exchanges, fire meets ice. The opening game was electric. Eala came out firing, landing deep forehands with her signature lefty spin, and displaying footwork that had become more refined with every tournament she entered. The crowd, composed of a mix of locals and a surprising number of flag-waving Filipinos, roared with each point she won. But the Czech opponent, cool and clinical, responded with quiet dominance. Her serve, like a metronome, rarely faltered. She absorbed Eala's pace and returned with depth and precision, drawing errors and then striking with confidence. The first set slipped away from Eala 6-3, but even in that loss, her resilience stood tall. Each game was a small battle, each point a lesson. Heartbreak in the second set. The second set saw a rejuvenated Eala. She broke serve early, pumping her fists, her voice rising above the baseline. "Let's go." Her coach and support team leaned forward, urging her to stay aggressive. Her opponent, perhaps caught off guard by the momentum swing, double faulted to hand Eala a 3-1 lead. Then came the turning point. A few mishits, a questionable line call, and then the Czech found her rhythm again. From 3-1 up, Eala found herself locked in grueling rallies, where experience slowly outweighed youthful energy. Still, the fight never left her. She chased drop shots like her life depended on it. She slid across the baseline, unleashing angled forehands that kissed the corners. She saved break points with fearless net rushes, but the scoreboard was unforgiving. In the end, the set ended 7-5. Match over. A loss on paper, a win in perspective. As her opponent raised her arms in victory, Eala calmly walked to the net, offered a smile, and shook hands with grace. There was no tantrum, no racket smashing, just the quiet dignity of someone who knew this was just one chapter in a long novel still being written. The press conference that followed was filled with the usual post-match questions, but Eala's tone was steady. "I felt good out there, honestly," she said. "Of course, I wanted to win, but I'm learning every day. These moments are tough, but they push me, and I know I belong here." The bigger picture, Eala's rise and the road ahead. For a teenager who once juggled junior Grand Slam dreams with online classes, Eala's presence at a WTA 1000 event already speaks volumes. From ITF titles to now battling WTA giants, her trajectory is unmistakably upward. There's a maturity in her game that even veteran analysts are beginning to admire. Her backhand, once considered a weakness, now stands solid against some of the tour's most aggressive hitters. Her serve has more bite, and her mental composure under pressure continues to evolve. And perhaps most importantly, her role as a cultural icon is expanding. Back home in the Philippines, #EalaPride trended throughout the day. Schools held watch parties. Young girls recorded TikToks mimicking her service motion. Win or lose, Eala had already touched hearts.